In the shadows of mystery, secrets of Nancy Guthrie emerge, unraveling chilling truths.
I don't want to go around other people's channels and be, and just be talking, and be messing up their flow. So let me just start off with this real quick, and then I'll get into day 93 and what we're here for. Okay. This is what's going down like right now. And they have a Nancy Guthrie mystery coming out on Wednesday. So that's part of everything that we're talking about today.
Debut, the Nancy Guthrie mystery. The one-hour documentary will unravel the twists, turns, and unanswered questions surrounding the case of the missing 84-year-old, the mother of television host Savannah Guthrie. The piece will bring together key voices connected to the case, offering new insights and perspectives into the shocking unsolved crime. News Nation senior correspondent Brian Entin joins us this morning. He has spent weeks on the scene of this crime and brings us this documentary Wednesday night. Brian, thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah. And I want you to, right here is, I pick certain things that I align with, obviously, to tell a story. And in the story that I tell in the Nancy Guthrie case, it's somebody that's connected to the family or near. Now, you guys know 92% of all women, and it's women, 92% of all will say killers know. 92% of a killer knows the woman or the person in some way, whether it is somebody that's at the bowling alley, somebody that works at a grocery store. 92% that it's not just a random opportunity. And we're going to talk about that today because there's a cactus thief. With all of the media and all of the police coverage, we still got people out there stealing cactus plants and doing things that you just can't even imagine. So if that's happening out there, would we have paid attention to it if this hadn't happened to Nancy? All right, but my theory is in line with, and I got to tell you, I absolutely believe there's a core person and then people that are surrounding them. And the reason I think so is because of the way the investigation has been led. Now, FBI is taking over for the most part, and let's get into that.
Thanks so much for having me, Mike. I appreciate it.
So you gathered together a group of some of the top criminologists to look at this case. What did you learn?
Yeah, it was really, really fascinating. We've been covering the Nancy Guthrie disappearance since she vanished back on February 1st. I got there on February 2nd, and I've basically been in Tucson ever since. And it's such a mystery. I never would have thought, 3 months later now, we still wouldn't have answers about how this 84-year-old woman literally just disappeared in the middle of the night from her very, very quiet home right outside Tucson, Arizona. So in this special, we go back to the beginning. We go through all of the exclusive information that we've been able to uncover. We have sources within the investigation who speak out. And then it's really interesting. We interview some of the top criminal profilers in the world.
Which I hope FBI is in on or taking a lesson from. I hope that, and I hope, not only I hope, but I truly, truly believe that very soon we're going to get a break in the case and they're going to tell us about it. FBI is working on this case. This is not a cold case, my friends. FBI has real tangible evidence and it's coming. All right. So be patient. Let's kind of stay on track about what's going on in this case and not go too far left, too far right. Let's kind of stay in the middle. But I am still going to bring you back to Tommaso Cioni today. And guess who? Annie, who made a map. Did anyone know about the map that the killer knew? How did Annie know the map of a killer? Why are theories still being put out there that Nancy never made it home that night? And why do people think that the plant thief may be the person involved? I mean, how many other people have we seen doing this kind of thing with different cars? I mean, they can't be that stupid, right? Yeah, I can't lie. I can tell. All right, let's continue. This is going to come out Wednesday. I hope that it helps to put perspective on the case. And then I hope we get some break very soon. FBI does have information that they're not sharing with us.
We got 3 of them together in one room to go through all of the info that we obtained and tell us who they believe could be responsible for Nancy Guthrie's disappearance.
And we want to play a clip from your discussion with one of those criminologists. This is Dr. Gary Brucato. Let's take a look.
They do.
Amateur hour kind of quality is interesting also and suggests to me a difference in intelligences. some schemer behind the scenes and this character who was just sort of hired or asked to do this. I think we would all agree this is not a professional that we saw here. I also don't believe this person worked alone.
So you think there's more people involved?
I think there is a little group of people, and that's great, because the more people involved, the better for getting it solved.
All right, interesting perspective there. So from all of your reporting and the sources you've developed over the last months, do investigators believe this case is going cold?
No, they're very serious when they say that they don't believe that it's a cold case. There's still thousands of leads that they're going through. There's this task force that they've set up in Tucson, made up of the local sheriff's detectives and also the FBI, and all they do is work on this case full time. So I personally don't believe it's going cold, just based on everything I know. But you heard the Dr. Mercado say there, one of the profilers we interviewed, that there's this belief that there could be more than one person involved, in that Ring doorbell case.
And guys, I can't imagine that there's not more than one person involved. And let me tell you why. I don't think this was supposed to be a kidnapping / ransom kidnapping. I think it was an afterthought. Something bad happened. Nancy either didn't make it, or when she made it out, they knew she was already, there was not going to be no proof of life. But I absolutely believe there's more than one person, and not because more than one person couldn't do this, because Brian Koberger, I believe 110% did that by himself. However, if you follow the leads and you've been following the actual investigation and not just side sleuths that really don't have anything tangible, you will see who's in front of you and what circle they're bringing to the table. And that circle comes right back to the 92% of people that knew Nancy or Savannah or the family. Okay, so, and I am, let's right after this, I'm going to show you the map. We're just not going to talk yet about it, because right at the top of the hour, I'm going straight to Tommaso and then right back to Annie again. Why is Jennifer Coffendorfer trying so hard to clear Tommaso and Annie? What is she gaining out of that? And nobody's been cleared. Why would that be?
Camera, you see the one guy with the mask on, but is it possible that he had a boss? And Dr. Picado called it almost a chef and a waiter sort of relationship, where someone was in charge, and that person who we saw wasn't actually the mastermind behind the whole thing. It's one of the theories that we explore in the documentary.
All right, and you can catch that documentary Wednesday night on St. Louis 11, the Nancy Guthrie Mystery. News Nation correspondent Brian.
All right, cool. So let's check that out, you guys. We'll try to stay focused with what's actually going on in the case. I'm going to put this up just for a minute. And Krista, I'm glad you've seen this. I don't understand for the life of me why Annie Guthrie would know the route of a killer, number one. Number two, they've never done an actual search effort for Nancy. We've never seen a public search effort that goes out there and they get their stakes to touch the stuff on the ground by the family or law enforcement, by the Pima County Sheriffs, and they don't even want EquiSearch in. So why is it that Annie Guthrie gave a map to the police about the killer's route, but it was kept low key and they're not out searching? Well, this weekend I heard you don't search for what you know. You don't search for something when you already know where it is. All right. If you know where something is, why search for it? Yeah, Chris. So Krista's like, hey, I've seen this last month. Well, if my mom were missing and you saw this last month and you didn't tell me so I can go out there and search, I'd surely be pissed off. I'd be like, why in the hell did you not tell me? I would have drove that route 100 different times, different ways, with different people to look for different clues and cameras. Why did we not hear about this? All right. Yes, that too. It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. And I will. Well, Patriot Pride's in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. This guy was popping this weekend. I was listening in. I didn't want to, I don't like hopping in on creator stuff and then people guilty of crime. What's up? I don't want to mess you up, but y'all were doing great, Patriot. You guys had like 1,500 in chat, just chopping up what's going on. Yes, I don't even cuss that often on here, but fucking unreal is right. And we're going to get back to that. But you want to know another thing that's fucking unreal? I'm going to tell you right now what's unreal to me, because it keeps going back to the same thing. No matter how much research I do, it comes back to the same thing. So I'm going to leave that up there for a second, just so you can see a picture of Tommaso with, and I'm going to read it after in a second. Jennifer Coffindaffer, whatever, saying how much of an angel and wouldn't you're going to get sued if it just, this is out of pocket. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should say this about anybody unless they've actually been cleared. This is going to make us do this, guys.